right, we move to relationships and marriages. I believe that after this section, we'll just have one more section and we'll be winding down. I must say, virtue has gone out of me. The very first thing that I'm going to be talking about is singleness or singlehood is not a crime. Singlehood is not a crime. And I'm saying this because I know that this season a lot of people are feeling pressured. Forget about this pepper thing. We always say that you dey pepper me, this your pepper, bringing it hot with you and your husband, all those fancy talk. Apart from that, I feel like a lot of singles are pressured, feeling pressured because maybe a couple of their friends are married and they feel like, Lord, am I putting so that kind of talk. But the truth is, being single is not a crime, and being single is actually a blessing. I'm not saying being married is not a blessing. I'm saying that they are all both seasons of your life that should be cherished and enjoyed while you are still there. So I'm going to say that being single helps you to enjoy company with yourself, understand yourself better, help you grow, have more respect and affection for yourself. Being single is when you can learn your boundaries, know your limits. It is when you can really, really develop yourself. And being single is the best time to find healing for different aspects of your life. Whatever it is that you need to find healing for, being single is one of the best times. Being single is the best time to plan your life and know how it's going to play out eventually. Being single is the best time to read the room and know who to get married to, and know when it is time to finally get married. It would be good that singles enjoy that season of their life. If they don't, I don't think they will even enjoy their marriage life as well. So it's not really about what you stand to gain when you get married, because people have different perspectives about getting married and being single. So people say, being single is free, or if I get married now, I'll enter bondage. I don't know the bondage they're talking of. I even find that for myself, being married is freedom than being single. So different cases for different people. But I believe that if you're moving from one place to another, it should be better, right? So though being single is beautiful, don't run out of being single to being married because of the title. Because marriage should even be better than your single life. Being married should be better than your single life. The good book says, if one shall chase 1,000, two shall put 10,000 to flight. Do you know what that is? Better. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is have your relationships defined. I find that a lot of us get entangled in situationships that don't have any definition, don't have any destination, don't have any bearing. We're just loving on somebody or wasting time after time and time again, conversing with people that shouldn't even be your close space. And then because of that, the more you spend time with someone, the more you spill information that you shouldn't be spilled, the more you find it harder to enjoy your single life. You're preoccupied with relationships that shouldn't even matter, and then you're stressed, things like that. So I feel like it is important to define that relationship. What defining relationship does for you is helps you save time and energy, so you're not wasting your time and energy. And I would say this here with my full chest: the best way as a lady to live your life is not to be in a relationship with anybody. Don't date anybody. I said so. Yes, it's my best remedy, but if you feel like you want to do you, enjoy. I would explain. Hear me out. Be friends with people. Have friends, be friendly with them. Friendly with all the guys around you. Then while you're friendly with them, keep looking at who is a prospect and who is not. Then you can give those prospects more of your time, not more of your attention. I think there's a difference. More of your time, because a lot of things have proved that men get attracted to that one that does not give them the attention. Yeah, you heard me right. That's one that doesn't give them an attention. That's the one that get the attention. And the ones that are always flocking around them don't get the attention. So just take note. So I'm not saying give them your attention, like you're always all over them, calling them and all of them, but give them your time. So if they say, these are for prospects now. So if they say, please, can we go on a date? Accept to go on a date. That's what I'm trying to say. But doesn't mean you will now be the one suggesting to go on a date or giving them that green light to want to ask you to go on a date with them. So then, while you are giving these few prospects, I believe there should be fewer, while you're giving them some of your time, you're still keeping a lot of information to yourself. You're not, spilling, telling them the whole world about yourself, telling the whole world about yourself and the whole world of yourself to them. So when you do that, by the time you have spent a few weeks in what I can call talking stage with these people, you can tell who you really want to, spend more of your time. How? You need to read thought patterns from what people say and what people do. If somebody says something like, I felt like slapping that girl, thoughts like, is this guy not going to be an abusive person in our relationship, physically abusive in our relationship, should come to mind. Is it not obvious that for someone to even be entertaining the thought of hitting someone, it means the person might have the capacity to and might do it one day? So the point I'm trying to make is, this is the time when you're in a talking stage relationship with people. That is the time to read thought patterns from behaviors, from behavioral patterns, from what they say with their mouths. So when you have been able to sort out, and this is before you allow feelings get in the way, you're entangled, and now you can't think straight anymore. That's the reason why people get into wrong relationships, get married to people that they should even never have even been friends with. Like, how did that even happen? Because you're so engrossed in the euphoria of the good feeling of emotions. And then one bad thing about emotions are fleeting. By tomorrow, all that what's it called now, alcohol in your eye will be gone. When I mean alcohol, I mean emotion. And then you'll be no longer drunk in love. You'll be wide awake and you would see the mess you have found, put yourself in. So while you're still have grades for relationships, don't just jump into things. After you've been friends with the person and you've given the person some more of your time, so that you can actually read their mind, see what they're not saying or what they're not doing, and you've been able to tell who is what and who is not, then you can begin to start looking at who you would want to settle with. And I really don't know, I'm still looking for a way to pass down this knowledge, but I believe that there's something about women being able to choose their partners even before their partners choose them, and getting their partners to want them. So it is true that it is the men that shoots the shot, right? However, the woman can actually make herself available for the man to see her good enough for him to shoot his shot. I think that was clear enough. So the point I'm trying to make here is, it is important that we know these processes and master them, so that we get, when we are ready to get married, we're getting married to the right set of persons. So have your relationships defined. Don't just get entangled in situationships that lead nowhere and waste your time and energy, then cause yourself heartbreaks that should have never happened. All right. The third thing I want to talk about is biological clock and male attraction, or sexual market value. This is for people who want to get married. If you want to get married, drag a chair, come closer, put on your earpiece. You need to listen to this. Hello, your most prime time is in your 20s, and I'm saying this without mincing words. Your most prime time is in your 20s. Make the most use of it. If you're still in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, all I can say is, make good use of the opportunities that come your way when it comes to male attraction. If you want to get married, don't shun them away because you are almost becoming 40, where you will need a miracle to have a good husband, to bear a child. You will literally need a miracle to do the things that would have been easy when you should have done them. So I think I've just said it in the easiest possible way so that I don't elongate this talk. Of course, you know what I mean by your biological clock and male attraction. I think I mentioned it a couple of times. Now, the next thing is attracting a male person. Of course, this is also for someone who wants to get married. I'm even glad that I have a wig on, a very light makeup, and earrings, jewelries, so that somebody will not come and tell me that it's because she does not like it, that's why she's saying it. Ladies, overly what is the word now, looking artificial is not men's things. They like it natural. From your hair to your makeup to your dressing that's covering, you're not exposing things, to cosmetic surgeries, to BBLs, all of these things. I must tell you, 9 out of 10 men prefer a natural one and not a fake one. Please minimize these things you're doing. You're doing a makeup and then you're looking like an art. Unless you're probably making up for an artwork. Please, your daily makeup, you're going to work and you don't look like, the moment you wash everything off by the time you're back, you look like an entirely different person. I want to be sure that you still have your self-esteem intact, because I wonder why you cannot go out with your face the way it is. I just hope that your self-esteem is still intact. But this is a serious issue we need to talk about. You are beautiful. And even if you want to change something, maybe you want to adjust your nose, or you want to make up to cover up whatever it is you're hiding with the makeup, whatever it is you want to do, try not to overdo it. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Because in the end, and that's the reason why we need to work on our self-esteem from the inside, not from the outside inside. We need to work it from inside out. So you're not doing a makeup because you don't feel good about yourself, and then the makeup is what covers and makes you feel good about yourself. You have taught yourself to feel good about yourself regardless, so that whatever you're doing is just an addition, not that it is the main deal. And that way you can help yourself to reduce the chances of overdoing it. I'm still going to talk about competition and come back to this makeup thing again. But number 5, don't do the wrong things to keep your man. I hear a lot of things about, hold your man though. If I catch him, I've already made a new year resolution that I'm going to be married this year. If I don't find my own, I go look for person husband. If you like, no hold your husband. Now your husband will come carrying, and different talks about that. And then you now see a lady whose husband is already cheating, going to fight the lady that her husband is cheating with, to leave her husband alone. Leave my husband alone! Leave my husband alone! Probably arrest her or poison her or whatever it is. Crazy things happen in the world. You know what I have to say to you? Don't do the wrong things to keep your man. And I say, oh, he's now following women because they wear skimpy things. You answer, you want to wear skimpy things. First of all, the first way to keep your man is marrying a man who has self-control. Write that down. The first way to keep your man is to marry a man that has self-control. So you don't have to run after him like a kid to do what he's supposed to do and not do what he's not supposed to do. That's the first thing. Then you can start talking about what you're supposed to be doing in the marriage. You're making sure you're doing your duties. You're making sure you're communicating with him so that he's telling you what he feels you're not doing right. We need to learn how to ask constantly how our partners feel. Ask them what they think we need to change about ourselves that is affecting them, what they don't like that we are doing. We need to ask this question genuinely and continually, and also make changes to be better. I believe that if you're doing this, then you're doing the right things to keep your man. But when you're on social media shouting at one side chick to leave your husband alone, you're just disgracing yourself. Or when you're about to get married and you decided to choose one man over the other because that one had more assets, yet you didn't check to see if he had values, to see if he had good self-esteem and self-control. You didn't check out all of that. What did you expect from him? And that's the reason why women will come out and say, men are polygamous. There are men who have self-control. If you have agreed with your man that you want him to be your man for you alone, if you have said it is me and you forever, so why is there a third party? And then you're even supporting it and saying, well, they can have him on the side. I'm sure the main chick. I'm sure the main. What the hell is that? Queens, we need to do what is right. If you're single while you're watching this video, you don't know how good it is that you're still single too. Because as I'm saying this thing, if there are married women who already choose men that they have self-control, they have to accept their fate. Because if you start running after a man who is cheating, you're going to give yourself a lot of stress. You can even go down with high blood pressure and heart attack, stroke, and die in the process of trying to keep your man. And by the time you are dead, they're only going to mourn you for 2 years, and another person will come in. So for the sake of your health, for the sake of your children, for the sake of your sanity, for the sake of the reason why you're here on earth, enjoying your life and doing what you're supposed to do, please try not to waste your energy trying to save your man the wrong way. All that cannot save your man. A man who you can't say because you are telling someone to leave your husband. When she leaves your husband, the man you're not gonna look for somebody else. They know what they are doing. Men know what they are doing. Just know that men know what they are doing. Men know what they are doing. So telling someone to let go of your husband, is your husband a kid that they are letting go of him? Is he not the one that went to carry her? So is it not your husband that they should even let go of the woman? Do you get the point? So, and it can be very chaotic. All right. So, and that's also, I'm also quickly going to just say here that dating men that cheat or beat you and you think it's okay, please erase that thing from your memory. If you still have that thought up till now and you don't have a problem with it, you need help. That's all I can say. And if you say, hey, thank you, it's my life, I like it like that, there is more in life. There are more beautiful, peaceful things in life than what you are experiencing, and you can get those things too. You deserve those things too. Please, queens, don't let what the world has said to us, the lies they have said, be your reality. You can frame your own world. You can create your own world and make it be the way you want it. And I'm talking about marriage, marrying the right person who will not molest you, hit you, abuse you, and cheat on you, and probably even kill you. Your life is more precious than just being wasted in a marriage. If you have to leave, please do. If your life is threatened, please leave. Please leave. If you meet a man or a woman who has spent 45 years married, and though the marriage wasn't perfect, the man said, if I had known all the things that I know now, my marriage would have been way better. I'm going to write a book teaching people about how marriage ought to be. And then he wrote down a book. And then you came across that book and read it. Then you read another one, and another one, and another one. Maybe you read 10 books. Experiences of different people and practical examples of what to learn and take away from those marriages. And then you even read more books talking about principles of marriages, and you were able to connect all the dots they were saying about the same thing. I want to ask you, though you have never experienced marriage, is it true that you can actually go into that marriage and find what I'll call you have go into that marriage and you would have gained so much knowledge that you would be as good as someone who was experienced? Though you were not experienced, do you know that now you have the knowledge of experienced people, not just one person now, say 10, 20 experienced people? Don't you think with that knowledge, you know as much as those people know now, even after the experience? And don't you think that your marriage can actually be way better if you live out your life the way it has you have learned? If you live out those things you have learned from the instructions that were given in the experiences you have read about. Think about it. Not that you know that marriage is, you get the certificate before you start experiencing the marriage. It means you have to buy that experience. Learn it, know about it, and don't stop there. Because one of the persons we went to visit before we got married, my husband and I, he said something that struck me really hard, and I put a very good thought to it, and I made a resolution. What was that? He said, well, all these things you're saying are good. You people look like you are ready for marriage. You know what you should do and what you should not do. But I will tell you, in the heat of an argument, when you are angry, filled with rage, when one thing has turned sour, something has gone bad, you will forget all these things you have learned. And I thought to myself, wow, that's profound, and that is true, because I don't want to live in delusion, thinking, no, my marriage will work. I have read books. I didn't want to live. I saw facts right in front of me, and I accepted it. Now I wanted to tackle it. I said to myself, is there a way that I can, at the first attempt, or at least the second, or at most the third attempt, make sure that I don't allow things slide when I am heated up in an argument? I don't just do whatever. I don't just let myself go. I hold myself and remind myself of what I have learned and how to react in that situation. And that was what I did. And that's what I've been doing. Um, what am I trying to say? I hope this is not sounding too abstract. So let me give an example. Um, in our first year of marriage, my husband and I, we were in a team that were planning for a children's program, for a children's meeting, and I was more like the committee chairman, and he was more like the HOD, like head of department. He was not in the committee, but I was the committee chairman. For some reason, he was saying that I was being too laid back about something, and I needed to really get on my feet and get something done. And I felt hot because the reason why I was being laid back was something he knew about, but he didn't defend me at that point. He was blaming me for it, and I could have just made an outburst from there and said words to him, but I had restrained myself, and I was able to stop myself and say, I just cried. That was all I did, and told him that I was going to continue the conversation later, that I needed a timeout from the conversation. And so what I did was, I learned that when it feels like I'm overwhelmed with what is being said or the situation at hand, I can take timeouts. I can do things that would make me take me away from that situation, so that I can breathe and recalibrate myself before I come back again into that thing and talk about what has happened, and so that I am clear-headed to now say what I should say and not say what I shouldn't say. So I said all of that to say that it is important for us to not just know the experiences in marriage, but to do them. Not just know the right experiences, learn lessons, know a lot about marriages, rehearse them, practice them. One thing I found is, if you have actually been living right before, you've been treating people right, you've been understanding, you've been kind, you have just been trying your best to be a good individual, it won't be so hard for you to live with another good individual and live life with the person. So that's one thing I believe. So certificates, marriage gives you certificate without experience. However, you can buy that experience even before you get the certificate, because that's how it should be. All right, so I'm going to also say this lastly: competition amongst women. There was a quote somebody was saying. The person said, men see themselves in younger men, while women see themselves as younger women. That's the older women now. What I found that to be, and which is profound, is how that men can comfortably help their fellow men, while women would rather compete with their fellow women. And while this is a natural thing found amongst women, I want to say this now, that women, we need to stop this competitive attitude. This thing where somebody is married and you think the right thing to do is to compete with the person to get their husbands from them and get the husband to become your husband, or whatever it is. I just wanted to address this competition thing. We need to stop this competition. We need to do better. There's more to life. Really, there's more to life than competing with women and your fellow women. And it's not just about against partners or people's husbands. It boils down to what we wear. If somebody wears a dress and you're looking, it's better than mine, rubbish girl. Or she's wearing bow straight longer than yours and you're bothered. She's this than yours and you're bothered. It will be good if it's just good to note that not being competitive with other people. In fact, being competitive with other people just shows how shallow-minded a person is. The competition should be between yourself and yourself, your previous self and what you are now. Compare and see what it's like, so you're striving to do better. Everybody has their own lane. Nobody is running on the same track. No two persons run on the same track unless you're in a team, and that teamwork is just for a short time frame. No two people are a team for a long period of time, except you and your husband, for married people. And even in that situation, you're not competing, you're a team. So I just wanted to quickly say now that for that reason, this thing where people say we're arguing and I won the argument, my husband lost. Excuse me, there's nothing like you won the argument and your husband lost. You both lost. The argument was not supposed to be about who should win. It was supposed to be about getting something right in the house. It was supposed to be about establishing something in the house. It was supposed to be about knowing the way forward in the home. Challenges in the marriage shouldn't be about what my husband did to me or what I did to my husband. If any of us is going through a challenge, it should be our challenge. It should be us against the world, not we against ourselves. Not me against my husband's family, or my husband's family people against me, or me against my husband against my family people. No. It should be me and my husband against whoever and whatever. We are a team. We are the only people running on the same track at a very long time of your life. But apart from that, you're not in competition with anybody, because you're on a track of your own, running on your own. So you're not supposed to compete all the time. And you know what I found? It is inherent, like it is inborn for women to, compete with themselves. But that's where the work comes in, right? You now have to work on making sure that you yourself, you are not when you notice that it feels like I'm feeling uncomfortable because this person is looking better than me, dressed better than me, or has a husband I don't have, whatever it is you feel like the person has better than you, or the person is in a position that is better than you, whatever it is, you have to now remind yourself at that point that, okay, no, this is not about competition. I shouldn't be competing with somebody else. So I think with that, it would really help a lot of us to not overdo and live above our means just because we want to, wear a bone straight that men don't even recognize the difference. If you're wearing a sponge straight or a bone straight or a synthetic weave on, most of them don't know the difference. So we're just busy competing with ourselves, because it's still the lady that will know that you fixed classic lashes and did bone straights. It's the lady that will know, not the guy. The guy will not even notice. Most times, guys that you do new hair, they won't even know that you did new hair. Now you stress yourself for. Have I said you should not look good? Nope. I'm just saying, don't kill yourself over, don't beat yourself up over looking overly good because someone else in the office or someone else in school or someone else somewhere is looking better than you. You're not competing. You're not in a competition with the person. Don't get tempted into getting into a competition with anybody.